All right, I'm going to go ahead and get started. So, first off, I want to thank everybody for attending. If you listen to this afterwards, appreciate you listening to this webinar. Um, we're going to be talking about the holiday season, and I know it's crazy to be thinking about. We haven't even hit Halloween yet, but I was walking through the store the other day, and I already saw the Christmas decorations that were out to be sold, and hey, now is actually a really good time to start thinking about my marketing and what I'm planning to do when we get into that Black Friday, that Christmas time, and then transitioning into the new year. So this is a pretty pertinent time to be discussing this, and I appreciate you listening to this webinar to get that understanding. Now, today, I'm going to briefly touch on ad parents, but really I want to talk about what to do with your digital advertising during the holiday times, and then also talk a little bit about the model year-end transition. We see that models are changing from 2023 to 2024 models. And what does that mean? What are the best strategies to be applying for that? So hopefully you'll find some value out of what we discussed today. This beginning part with the holiday recommendations, it's a bit of a checklist. It's going to go from simple to the advanced to the really capturing as much of your market as possible. These are just recommendations. So some of these might be things that you're already doing, already planning on doing. Some of these might be things that you're not necessarily doing yet, but might be good to think about doing and put a strategy behind as we get into this holiday season. So a little bit about ad appearance. We are a company that is obsessed with generating quality leads, and I think that's what's led us to being a top provider in a bunch of different programs that we're in. We're a Google Premier Partner, meaning that Google comes out with all of its early alpha and beta tests with ad appearance first before it rolls it out to the rest of the market. And we always like to pair our great technologies with a great client experience. So we have a 98% client retention rate because every dealer that signs on gets a dedicated strategist who's in their account every single day. And I think that's something that makes ad appearance really, really special here. All right, now enough about us, and let's jump into what are our strategies here with our holiday recommendations. So like I mentioned, there's going to be the base level, which is the simple, then we'll move into advanced, and then we'll move into the aggressive. But let's start with what the holiday season means. As we get into this time of year, what you'll notice is that this green bar is the average daily searches around the auto industry that people are making. So throughout the year, you're seeing kind of this base level. But during the holiday season, we see spikes consistently throughout this time. These 2 months are pretty much one of the biggest times of the year that you want to be covering your advertising. You'll notice a little dip right about Christmas, but then a few days afterwards, we see that jump right back up to a bunch more searches. There's 9 million searches around deals, offers, incentives, and an additional 50 million searches specifically around dealers and dealer locations. So people are looking to buy during this time of year, and you want to make sure that your budgets are fully built up for this time of spending. So as we look at the holiday vehicle sales, right? During January, we know that's typically the slowest time of the month for a dealer. If you talk to any dealer, this is pretty evident. And then as you get into spring months and summer months, you do see more and more customers starting to buy. But you'll notice that the month of December is higher than what you're getting in your spring months and your summer months, right? So having this understanding that this is the time when people are making these searches, they know that they're getting their deals around this time. And so you want to make sure that your dealership is the top of every search, is the front of the line when those customers are looking to buy. And even this year, we're seeing it's right in line with these expectations, right? This is the 2023 line graph here. Obviously, we're not through all the fall months yet, so we don't know where this one's going to end up, but I would assume that it's probably right here, right along the average. But December, we typically see a climb. So let's make sure that our dealer is fully funded during these times. Now, when we look at these recommendations, I'm going to cover a whole gamut of options that you can be doing, from Google or Bing search over to discovery ads or YouTube, connected TV, or Facebook and Instagram. There's a bunch of different ways that dealers can be spending, but having an understanding that customers don't just show up the first time and instantly buy a car, but you can hit them on a multitude of platforms and make sure that you are spending on those areas that are going to actually drive more sales for your dealership. So let's look at some of these strategies. Your SERP recommendations, search engine results page is what SERP stands for. So we're getting into the holiday season. Well, let's include key information about this. Do you have a Black Friday sales event going on? Let's add in that sort of text into your ads, talking about specific holiday keywords, right? Somebody might be typing in Black Friday car deals. Why not include that as some of the keywords that you want to be appearing for? So making sure that you're really fully funded and that you're allocating your resources towards this time of year, as this sort of ad text is going to be really important to capturing those customers, making those types of searches. In fact, it might even make sense to break out a separate campaign specifically around the holiday event, allocate a specific budget to those campaigns so you know that you're fully funding those customers who are ready to be making those searches and being in that buying mode during that time. You want to make sure that you have smart bidding enabled and looking at vehicle ads as well to boost your inventory during this time. I also recommend expanding your geo-targeting, right? You can hit customers further out, right? This might be a little bit more advanced. You might be having some more opportunities that maybe it doesn't just work to cover your backyard anymore, but try and go find those additional customers who are a little further out. We know that there's additional searches, so why not include an additional targeting as well to make sure that you're hitting on those customers. Also recommend Bing as a really good option during that time to try and hit those people that are on other platforms. Bing's a really great one because it's pretty much the same cost per acquisition as what you get on Google, but not as many competitors are on the Bing platform advertising. So it's a great way to get an additional influx of customers that you might not have already found on your Google search campaigns. All right, now looking at the aggressive side of these search engine results page campaigns. You can look at adding in vehicle ads, and I highly recommend that every dealer has vehicle ads in their campaigns. And in fact, vehicle ads have just moved into Performance Max. So it's a great way of finding an additional place where you can get your inventory sitting directly on the Google's results page right at the very top. And customers can window shop your inventory right there from the get-go. So definitely recommend doing this, whether you're just starting out into advertising or getting really aggressive with it. You should always have vehicle ads enabled. You can also look at other tactics like Conquest. Conquest might not be the one that I'd roll out the gate with, but if you're sitting there like, I'm fully funded on my paid search campaigns and I'm still not getting enough leads, there's a way to Conquest where you can target customers who are still in that window shopping phase and trying to convince them to look at your inventory. The ways that I like to do this is not get down to when a customer's typing in, that Nissan Altima for sale and you're showing them your Jetta inventory. If they're asking for the Altima for sale, they've already decided that they want that vehicle. But if you can hit them when they just make a Nissan Altima search or a Nissan sedan, then you might want to put in your inventory, right? You say, considering the Altima, have you thought about the Jetta? That might be a really good way of influencing those customers to buy on your inventory and get them over to your site before they're in that ready to buy moment and hit them more on their window shopping phase. All right, now let's jump into display. Display is a great way to follow customers onto every platform they go onto. You go onto Google's display network, and you want to just go follow those customers on every site they attend. So, maybe they go onto ESPN the next day to look at the scores. Well, the display ad will sit there at the top or on the side to give that customer another way to come back to your website. And thinking about Black Friday and including ad text around this, right? You want to tell them that you have this Black Friday sales event going on and that now is a really good time for them to come by, or maybe you have some really great lease incentives that you want to run in those image ads. Those are really great placements where you can just hit customers on all of these other platforms. They're used to seeing that Black Friday events and sales are going on, so why not put your ads out in front of them on those different websites? Some further display recommendations is bringing in your VIN-specific inventory, still having a Black Friday sales event tagline going on, but showing them the specific car that they can be buying, remarketing to them on all these other platforms that they go to, and then adding in some more audiences in here, right? Custom intent audiences, low funnel in-market search customers who are showing a buying intention with the keywords that they're typing, then go follow them onto those other websites that they visit. Again, time and time again, just getting that customer used to seeing your name, seeing your information, and hopefully getting them to click on one of those display assets. And then the aggressive part of this is really thinking about not just your base level of remarketing campaigns and in-market campaigns, but maybe bringing in a customer match list. I'm sure that you have customers who have leased a vehicle in the last couple of years, and now might be the time that they're ready to buy a vehicle. So following those customers with, here's a car that you can be buying based on a customer match list of people who maybe leased 3 years ago, and you want to go get aggressive with that customer and show them the inventory that's going to get them to buy or get them to come over and start shopping on your inventory again, or their lease is up, and including taglines in that comments that'll help them inspire them to come back and shop on your inventory today. So being cognizant about what are the audiences that you want to be targeting here, and how you can use some of your data to drive home better results for the customers that you'll be targeting. All right, now let's talk about video. We see a ton of customers moving over to video, and this might be YouTube, this might be connected TV, but having video assets is pretty important nowadays. We really want to make sure that as we get into Black Friday, again, we're including any sort of sales events, any sort of taglines, that we have a strategy going into this holiday season that's going to help us be successful. So starting out by thinking, what are the incentives and the offers that we want to include around Black Friday and around Christmas time of buying, and then at the same time making sure that you're then creating assets that are going to be available on all these different platforms. So putting the thought in now is going to drive a lot stronger results down the line. As we get into the more advanced options, looking at the dynamic aspect of running these vehicles, right? You can still have those taglines similar to how we talked about in display, doing the same thing with video, right? When customers are on these platforms, show them the car that they can be buying, talking about the sales event that you have going on, and getting that customer to click on that ad and come over to shop on your website. You can also use Performance Max now with video. So this might be another area where you allocate funds to Performance Max and you let Google choose what's the best platform to be advertising on. Maybe they choose display, maybe they choose video, maybe they choose vehicle ads, but having enough funding into those Performance Max campaigns to get you as many conversions as possible through Google's AI algorithm. And it's all about putting good data in. This is a primary part to running these Performance Max. You want to send Google really good data set of customers who have shown an intention to buy a car. You want to hit them with that sort of information rather than your whole set of leads where there's some people who are looking to schedule a service. Those aren't the people you're intending to show your videos to try and get them to purchase a vehicle, right? They're service customers. I want to take my sales customers, plug that into my Performance Max campaigns to get the best results that I can. Also looking at CTV targeting or connected TV, sometimes known as OTT. This is a really great opportunity to, again, hit customers when they're just sitting watching TV, watching those different channels, but you can target in-market shoppers who are ready to be purchasing. Now, one of the cool ways that we level up this video advertising is that we place a impression pixel on our connected TV ads. What an impression pixel does is that you'll see this customer watches this CTV ad, and then we put it into our database. Then we're looking to see, does this customer ever visit the website? If they do visit the website, then we're able to tie that customer's website visit back to the impression pixel that we put with that customer, and then see that in your CRM. So that customer who is in your CRM, we're able to give attribution to the connected TV video that they saw earlier on and say, okay, this actually led to this customer converting on your website and talking to you as a dealership. So giving true attribution to these CTV ad campaigns that you have. Now, when you compare this to traditional television, you really can't do that on traditional TV. Traditional TV, you buy a time slot in the 6 o'clock news and you're going to show up to whoever is watching TV on that channel at that time. Connected TV, you get a lot more in the weeds with this type of targeting. And then you get to understand, is it actually driving a return on investment? So if you want to go further into understanding how this all works, please reach out and be happy to give you a deeper dive on your video recommendations to give you those best results. Social campaigns. Same basic idea. Let's include any sort of offering that we're including with Black Friday, hitting customers on Facebook, maybe on TikTok, trying to get the word around that we have these offers going on. And I know that there's increased demand right now, so I want to make sure I'm capitalizing on that market. As we move into advanced, again, it's bringing in that specific inventory matched to what that customer cares about, right? What have they looked at previously? And then let's show them the vehicle that they can be buying. And then be specific with who sees your ad and be specific with the type of ad placement that you want to do, right? Maybe it's a customer match list, but maybe it's, you're using in-market audiences. We know that there's a great opportunity on TikTok. I recommend running TikTok videos that look like they're coming from the dealership, but including Black Friday sales taglines, or telling customers that you have great inventory and you have this great lease offering going on for the holiday season. Those are really important to include in the different TikTok videos you run and to the social posts that you're running. So making sure that you have that full understanding that this is really important to hit those customers with those incentives and offers. And then as we look at how to get aggressive, maybe you can do some lead formats where you have customers fill out their information directly on the social platform that they're on. Running collection ads, featuring your inventory in videos, or doing inventory assets with VDP specific information is really crucial. But also understanding, looking at broader audiences of targeting. We know that cookies are starting to go away, especially with these social platforms. And so now it's, how do I take advantage of the way that it's changing, and really looking at targeting those broad keywords in your meta targeting to try and hit a larger audience, but hit them with a concise message, hit them with information that's going to get them to click through, get them to engage. This is something that we're really putting a lot of thoughts into as those cookies are starting to go away, and as we're starting to see some new ways to advertise on Meta, Instagram, and even TikTok. Short form video. This is hopefully your dealers are starting to engage on this. I know I attended a conference a meeting last year at Digital Dealer that was all about this short form video. You can see when you're ever on YouTube, they have YouTube Shorts now. They have Instagram Shorts. They have, those suggested pages that are really, really short videos, but you can make them into an advertisement, and you can make them information about your dealership or your inventory or a walk around of the vehicles on your lot. Doing really quick videos are now a great way of engaging with your audience. So I recommend having a champion at your dealership who tests these out, who runs these types of videos, who adds in some Black Friday sales event information when they post these videos online. Looking at those videos and trying to build up your dealership through these different platforms in a new medium that you might not have been doing before. I also recommend programmatic audio. It used to be that radio was the only form of audio that customers listen to, but personally, I don't drive into work listening to the radio anymore. Now I turn on my Spotify playlist and I'm listening to Spotify, but there are a ton of customers who are doing that, and not everybody pays for Spotify Premium. And so thinking about, how can I get in front of these different listeners on more platforms that they're going on to? Programmatic audio is a really great way where you can target in-market shoppers with an ad that's relevant to your dealership, talking about your dealer's information. And people listen to these all day, and they listen through to these commercials. And so it's a great way to, again, get in front of that targeted audience. Radio, again, is just like traditional, where you just show up during that time slot on that specific channel. But with programmatic audio, you get to target your in-market shoppers. And so utilizing the tools that are available to you this is kind of the new way of doing these things. And programmatic is going to be something that I recommend to a lot of dealers. So if you're not using this right now, I highly recommend start a conversation, because this is the way that a lot of people are engaging and a lot of people are moving. And so I would recommend, getting ahead of this, getting some content out there, getting your dealership ahead of the curve. All right, so hopefully those are some good suggestions around this holiday sales event. As we see that searches start to climb, we want to make sure that your dealer is fully funded into those areas and coming up with the newest and best ideas that are available. But now let's talk about year-end transition. Vehicles moving from 2023 to 2024. Getting ahead of this, getting prepared for this, because there's a lot of changes that do need to happen. Look at your advertising efforts. Are you getting the return on investment? This is a time where, as we transition vehicles, you want to really be measuring, how successful was I? Were customers buying from me during this time? Was I getting enough leads? Were those leads quality? How did my sales process go? Looking holistically at everything going on, you get into the end of Q4 and start of Q1, it's time to look back at the year and say, where can I make improvements? Do you have full funnel coverage in every market that you care about? Where are you succeeding? What markets are you doing really well in? What markets are you not? How are you turning your vehicles compared to your competitors? We have a new turn rate report here at Adherence, where you can look at how well you're selling off your vehicles compared to your competitors. What markets are you succeeding in? Do you ever look at your pump in, pump out report? Where have you been successful? Where have you been losing out to those competitors? Does that match with what you're seeing in your auction insights report when you're looking through your advertising campaigns? Having a holistic discussion about, am I getting the best results from my advertising campaigns, or are there opportunities for me to make some improvements? We can talk about new electric vehicles. We know that this is becoming a big push in every single OEM. So having good strategies around how to best promote these types of inventory. And then lastly, outside of new vehicle sales, how is your service feed doing? Are you having enough people that are coming through? How are you doing with your parts pages? Are you listing your parts on Google Shopping? That's not something that I see a ton of dealers doing, but it's a really great area to start to promote more of your profit centers, to start selling off some of those parts that you might have building up in your inventory. All right, so digital advertising. As we move into 2024, make sure that your ads are reflective of the inventory on your website. Make sure that your ads are now updated towards your new model year. Make sure that your Facebook campaigns are running those dynamic inventory ads to show the newest vehicles that you have available. Also, with your non-dynamic ads, make sure that your year and copy is updated immediately when we move into that new model year. As we start to get that new inventory, make sure that you're including that. Prepare for the brand new releases before they arrive. I always recommend creating a landing page. Even if you don't have that inventory available, create a landing page, create a way for customers to do pre-order, or at least start an inquiry to discuss with you how they can get onto the list of somebody who's ready to buy this inventory. Because if they're showing interest now, you might as well capture that interest, get them ready to be purchasing, maybe even get that down payment today, so that when that vehicle does arrive, they're going to be right on that list. You've already gotten that initial investment from that customer. Now, as we're advertising new releases, update your ad copy as soon as it becomes in stock. This is going to be really important. Also, users won't really know the new name of this inventory, right? So include things like new Kia SUV, new electric Ford truck, including more broader keywords like that, where they might not be typing in the name of the newest vehicle that's coming out, but you want to try and broad match some of those keywords so that you can show them your newest inventory to get them to take action on those new vehicles that you have arriving. We also have capabilities to look at your inventory based on how long it's been sitting on your website, right? So creating different types of campaigns. Maybe you have an aged inventory campaign that you want to really try and move some of this inventory that's been sitting on your lot for 90 days. And you're like, how the heck do I get rid of this vehicle? I don't care about moving the one that has been here for one day and that one moves pretty easily, but the one that has been here for a while, reach out to your advertising strategist, reach out to myself or one of my teammates, and we'll be happy to discuss how we can take this aged inventory and create placements online that'll help you move that vehicle faster. SEO. This is something that I see a lot of dealers do that I want to make sure that they aren't doing this year in and year out. Oftentimes we see that dealers will write pages that'll be about the 2023 make model, right? And every year they have to go in and they have to update that. Now they're going to have to write a new page about the 2024 model, or they're going to have to update that page, or they're going to have to change the URL strand. I always recommend when you write about models, don't write it with a specific year. Write it as an evergreen page so that it ranks year after year after year. You don't need it to be rewritten every year. You're just creating busy work. And it takes a while for Google to re-index that page. And by the time that they re-index that page, you're almost ready for the new year, model year to come out. So recommend creating one page that's going to rank year after year after year consistently without having specific attributes to that one model year. Don't include the specific model year into the content that you write, but make sure that it's consistent for all customers to be able to get to that page, learn about this type of inventory, but then convert on your website right away. So I know I covered a lot of information, and I know we're moving into this year end and into this holiday season. What I would recommend is if any of these tactics or ideas kind of struck a chord with you, please reach out to myself or my team. We are ready to kind of give you all the insights into how to best do some of these things, what are ways to make some improvements in what you have going on currently, where we see some opportunities for this. So please reach out if you have any questions. Our team is more than happy to create one of these free analyses for you and give you this information that'll be helpful for you or your dealer moving forward. So I'd like to end. I know that we're coming up to the last minute here. So any questions for me, feel free to drop them in the chat. Feel free to put them in the Q&A section. All right. Well, it doesn't seem like I'm getting too many questions. So hopefully it was pretty straightforward. Like I said, if you do have questions, please reach out. I'll be sending a recording of this webinar. I'll also be sharing my contact information. So please feel free to reach out with anything. But otherwise, appreciate everyone's time today. Hopefully you found it educational, and look forward to seeing you on the next one. Thanks, everyone.